So now we're going to start solving our equations using inspection, which means that we're actually going to use calculations to find the answers to these problems. The first method is called carrying over, and every time we move a number with an operation or a sign in front of it to the other side, it changes its sign and it changes the operation. So for example, I have t plus 8 equals 14. I want to isolate t and find out, well, what is t all by itself? So I have to move my plus 8 over to the other side. And every time I cross an equal sign, it changes signs magically from positive to negative. This might not make any sense right now. We'll see when we get to reversing signs that this is actually a faster method. So the positive 8 moving to the other side becomes negative 8. So t is equal to 14 minus 8, and t equals 6. I can check my work by putting the 6 back into the original problem and having t, which was 6, plus 8, does it equal 14? And yes, 14 does equal 14, so I know that t did equal 6. For the next example, I want to isolate d. So I want d by itself, so I have to move this 10 to the other side. Well, what sign is this 10? Well, because there's nothing in front of it, it is automatically positive. When we move it to the other side, it becomes negative 10. D equals 25 minus 10, or 15. Again, I can check by putting 15 back into the equation and seeing if it does equal 25, and it does. The third example has w minus 24 equals 70. This time I have to move my negative 24 to the other side, and it becomes w equals 70 plus 24. The negative sign becomes positive when it crosses over the equal sign. W equals 70 plus 24, and that equals 94. Again, I can check by putting this back in and seeing that 94 minus 24 is 70. Now, how this makes sense is what we're doing is we're really reversing each operation. For example, if I have a scale and I have a bag full of a t number of marbles and I have 8 additional marbles on the side, and that is equal to 14 marbles on the other side, in order for me to find out t all by itself, I have to undo the addition. So the way that I undo that is by subtracting, the opposite of addition. So in this case, I have to subtract 8 to get rid of these 8 marbles. Well, what I do to one side, this won't balance anymore. I need to do the same on the other side. So I'll need to also remove 8 from the other side. This is why it works. So if I were to show each step, I would have t plus 8 equals 14. I have to undo the plus 8 with a minus 8. And I have to do the same to the other side. So which means 8 minus 8 is 0, and 14 minus 8 is 6. T equals 6. The same answer that we got above. We can do the same with the other operations, and notice that we will still get the same answers. So in this case, 10 minus 10 plus d equals 25 minus the 10 that we had to put on. 10 minus 10 is 0, d equals 15. In this one, w minus 24 equals 70. To cancel that out, we have to add 24 to both sides, so that it'll balance out in the end. W equals 94. We get the same answers both times. Multiplication and division works the same way. If I have 3 x bags, and that is equal to 48 on this side, in order for me to undo that, I need to undo a multiplication by 3, which is division. So I divide this side by 3, divide this side by 3, and x equals 16. I could check by putting this back into the original question and see, does 3 times 16 equal 48? And it does. Likewise, if it's division, I'll have to multiply by 4 on both sides to cancel out the divided by 4. I find that k is 32, and in this case, 18p equals 55, divided by 18 on either side, and p equals about 3. So this is how we solve using inspection.